What?
My cat. My cat. That's not my cat.
Oh.
Universal and on our way.
I hate suburbia.
This is episode 2 of talking about Hulk Hogan movies, and probably the last episode of talking about Hulk Hogan movies.
Probably the last one, unless you want to go into a deep cut of something, very obscure of Hogan's. He did a movie with Shannon Tweed and Carl Weathers. I think he did a couple.
Oh, all right. And I know he
So.
did some other things in the 80s. I saw that he was on a TV show for a little while, and then he did Thunder in Paradise.
Okay, see, I've never seen Thunder in Paradise, but I think that one's supposed to be kind of a pretty solid Hogan flick. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, it was a TV show, and so there
Okay.
was the TV show.
But
Then
did it start as a movie?
I don't
or
know. I can't
okay.
remember. I just remember it being on TV all of a sudden. I'm like,
You're
oh, there's
supposed to be the Hulk
again.
Hogan, the Hogan expert here.
I know. I'm working on it.
You saw him live.
I did. I saw him live, but he wasn't acting. Well, I guess he was acting. But anyway, I have memories of Suburban Commando. We're
do?
talking about, yeah, I guess I should say, today we're talking about Suburban Commando.
Oh, yeah.
The
Or the
Hulk
little
Hogan,
Hulksters.
yeah, Hulk Hogan sci-fi action flick, family friendly-ish, with Christopher Lloyd and Shelley Duvall.
Yeah,
Um,
and the Undertaker.
And oh man, when we get to
Yep.
that, I have
Yeah.
a lot to say because I remember this time period pretty vividly as far as being a wrestling fan, and then going to see this movie in the theaters because I was ready. I believe I also had the movie soundtrack on CD. I might have mentioned that before.
Oh, nice.
It was
Trying to think of what were some of the really great tracks on there.
yeah, there's a few notable tracks. Actually they're all pretty bad. There was bad like Michael Jackson bad, but
Yeah.
there was the kind of intro song where Shep Ramsey, as Hulk Hogan's character, as he's flying to Earth,
Mhm.
says, "It's a nice place to live, but I wouldn't want to visit." So Hulk Hogan is actually on the song.
Oh, wow.
So they made this song specifically for the movie. But there was a rapper, so there's like a guy rapping, and then Hulk Hogan like says stuff. And then there was also the closing song that's kind of the reggae-ish sort of laid-back tune.
Mm-hmm.
Blue sky, plenty of sunshine. And I remember that one is called Almost Like Paradise. So check it out. Almost Like
Oh.
Paradise. Put that in your
Got to get that
Spotify.
on vinyl, right?
I know. That's 7-inch. Put it in your Spotify playlist for when you're on the beach thinking about Hulk Hogan.
Yeah, and how
I wonder if we
sexy
have-
he is.
Yeah, how did we get any results? Any poll results back from is Hulk Hogan sexy question?
I think that the results were that he's not.
Oh, well, that's too bad. Poor Hulk.
Yeah.
I mean,
I mean, we didn't get a ton of responses. I mean, we're just starting out here, but
yeah.
if you would like to, I mean, we can extend "Is Hogan hot?" into Suburban Commando, of course,
Of
and
course.
see if anyone really wants to. If you're seeing this for the first time, you can let us know exactly what your thoughts are, and if he is sexy, why do you find him sexy?
Why is Hulk Hogan so sexy? It's
But,
those golden locks, those
Yeah,
big muscles that Vince McMahon loves so much.
and his golden crown of hair,
Oh yeah,
which
it's
is good.
stuff.
So this one I first saw, I think it for the first time was actually only about a year, maybe a year and a half ago. I don't
Oh,
know
wow.
why all of these Hogan movies have evaded me for so long. When I
Mhm.
had mentioned that my dad had told me it was fake, I started having some resentments towards
Oh no.
professional wrestling. So
It's anything but fake though, now that you know. You watch those
Mhm.
guys, that's a lot of back pain. That's
it's a lot of talent. It's just that
problems.
they're not actually trying to win the fight or fight each other. And
Yeah,
when I was younger, that was really a letdown for me.
yeah, for sure.
But 1991, right? This Suburban Commando.
Yeah, 91. So Undertaker at this point is kind of like hot off the presses. I think in 19, maybe it was Survivor Series 1990 when
Hmm.
he's introduced, and like he was like the secret tag team partner for Ted DiBiase's team. It was like mystery partner or mystery participant, and he just shows up, and he's the Undertaker, and it was pretty mind blowing. Like watching that is probably one of the best wrestling introductions for any new wrestler, I would say.
So DiBiase and Undertaker were partners.
Yeah, it was DiBiase, Undertaker, and the tag team of Rhythm and Blues,
Okay.
which was the Honky Tonk Man
Oh
and Greg
yeah.
the Hammer Valentine. They were going against Dusty Rhodes, the Dream Team, which had the Hart Foundation and Coco Beware.
Ah, okay.
So, so Coco Beware was the first one to receive the Undertaker's tombstone finishing move, which is just a
So
pile driver on the knees. But so Undertaker, he's in character like all the time. The guy's name is Mark Calloway, who
mhm.
plays the Undertaker, and he was like in it, like pretty much like 24/7. So, and he's like this super mysterious guy. He's like not talking, or he's just going, "I will bury you," just saying like the
Yeah.
most minimal stuff. So he's super scary. And then he shows up in this movie, and it was very weird to see him like that because it's like he has these comical moments,
Hmm.
like in the one of the worst fight scenes ever when Hulk Hogan was in against the two bounty hunters, which is just very slow and very bad.
So you found him in this movie to be because he had such a different style role to be you were sort of perplexed.
Yeah, and The Undertaker was this unstoppable force, right? And it was almost like he was a joke in this movie.
You're a dead man, Ramsey.
And that was
Oh
just
yeah,
very
yeah.
weird. He's almost bumbling. Like they're borderline bumbling henchmen. They're not really because they pose a threat. It's just not Undertaker enough.
Well, when did you sort of get out of this wrestling thing? When was the what was the breaking point for you? Did you just lose interest or
I started, I was working out and for some reason I just couldn't get muscles like that. I didn't understand there was this thing called steroids that they were all on.
right? Why can't I get myself to look like that?
I want to look
Oh,
like Hogan. I'm in seventh grade. I want to look like Hogan.
yeah. The funny thing that I read that originally Danny DeVito and Schwarzenegger were supposed to originally star in this one.
No
Did you know
way.
that? Yeah.
No, I didn't.
I think that they obviously went on to do a different movie together. But I'm assuming I'm assuming that DeVito was going to be in the role of Hogan, Shep Ramsey,
Yeah,
and Schwarzenegger was going to
yeah,
be in the role of Christopher Lloyd. Like that
yeah,
would have been great because
yeah.
Christopher Lloyd and Hogan sort of have a similar look if you think about it. Imagine if Hogan, was Doc Brown. He just had white hair.
That's a Photoshop. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah. It's sort of interesting because it doesn't feel, even though this movie feels like it has a budget to it, it doesn't feel like it could have sustained Schwarzenegger at the time and Danny DeVito. It seems a
No.
little too, I mean, there's some pretty impressive effects in here, I think, just because I like a lot of cheesy practical effects. And it had some sort of
Hmm.
kind of early CGI stuff that they were trying to, push into it. And
Was that like with the space fight or the space
yeah, like
battle?
the space crafts and stuff.
Yeah.
I feel like people now are really sort of appreciating the bad CGI stuff a lot more, where they used
Yeah,
to
yeah.
be really turned off by it. But now I find that people are really sort of drawn to the terrible CGI stuff of the early 90s.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, that was all like right before Jurassic Park. It's like this is the
yeah,
precursor of like
yeah.
everyone's mind being blown.
And then Jurassic Park kind of just came onto the scene and showed, everyone how to do it right. I think that the Jurassic Park stuff, arguably, not even arguably, it looks better than, say, Jurassic World or that new shit. And I
Yeah.
don't know if it seems like CGI is getting worse. I'm thinking that these Marvel movies and a lot of these with these giant CGI spectacles are just sort of it feels like it's getting worse.
Yeah,
Something about it.
that's
Maybe it's
interesting.
just being overused, but I'm pretty bothered by it.
I haven't really, I mean, I haven't seen a Marvel movie in a while. I think the last one I saw was Black Panther.
That had
No,
some of the worst CGI
did
I've
it?
ever seen. Oh my God.
I'm trying to
That's
remember.
okay. So the scene, anyone watching this too, if you disagree with me, you're wrong. But watch the scene where it's sort of the final fight where they're falling down, whatever, that chasm, and then they're fighting by the train. Just go
Yeah.
back and watch that and tell me what you think of it. As far as CGI goes, it's the worst.
That's so funny. I mean, I guess it's part of the whole we're just like gonna pump out a bunch of like Marvel movies and they're just trying to get all of this CGI stuff done.
Yeah.
Maybe like they're losing a bit of the quality there. I don't know. I'm not in the business.
Is someone sawing wood by you?
Yeah, two houses down, I think. Can you
Oh
hear
shit.
it?
I can hear it. It's sort of adding to the ambiance here.
All right. Getting
Um,
crazy out here.
it's getting crazy. They're just
Yeah.
sawing bodies in half over there.
I'm in the gazebo tonight, so
Just picturing someone, cutting through someone's bone next door. Ah, put it
it's
in the
a
garbage bag.
it's a real burbs
That
situation
guy
out
next
here.
door will never notice. From what I remember reading about like the Black Panther and a lot of the other movies are when Black Panther is on the scene with his mask on,
Yeah,
he's just entirely CGI.
that's so wild.
So I mean, all I really wanted out of a Black Panther movie was just the Black Panther, like a real guy wearing the suit and fighting people and have some real choreography, not like a rubbery looking, flimsy Gumby style version of Black Panther
Yeah,
fighting another one.
yeah.
I don't know. I mean, it was a cool story, but I just think the effects, something's going on with the effects. And that was a while ago. I do feel that they are getting a little worse. I've heard Disney is actually sort of maybe not, they're not paying people a lot of money. They've got these teams of people that are working on these movies that require all this CGI, and they have these short deadlines, and the people working on them aren't real happy about it. So they're rushing the CGI. They're just trying to get the next thing out, like Star Wars or the next Marvel show, and they're just pumping this shit out like it's a Big Mac.
Yeah.
So, whatever.
Well,
I mean, if that's what everyone likes now, then so be it.
so we can officially say that the CGI in Suburban Commando is better than the CGI in Black
In
Panther.
Black Panther? Well, at least that there's a few scenes in Black Panther, don't get me wrong, where it looks pretty cool. But some of the main fight scenes, I'm saying, watch the final fight one more time now. Maybe you'll have forgotten.
Yeah.
It is next level terrible. That's just my opinion. Maybe I'm completely off. But I do think Suburban Commando has a lot of fun special effects.
Yeah.
Some early CGI stuff that works pretty well. I don't know why the early CGI works better. I don't know why Jurassic Park. I guess Jurassic Park looks better because a lot of the CGI stuff then wasn't so in your face. And
Yeah.
I mean, there is some bad CGI in Jurassic Park when all of those. I can't remember what
The
those.
Velociraptors?
No, the Raptors were good.
Yeah.
I think. But
Yeah.
when they were all the ones jumping over the logs and stuff, and they get trapped behind the log, the kids and Sam Neill, and there's like a horde
Oh, yeah, yeah.
of them or a herd of these. That looked pretty bad, but overall they're mixing tons of practical effects with CGI. And the first time I saw Jurassic Park, my mind was completely blown. I couldn't even
Yeah.
believe it was real. I was like, this is real.
It also helped that there were dinosaurs and things that people hadn't even ever seen alive.
That's true.
So it's
That's
like
true. But
I'm sure that's how they move. I mean,
yeah,
it looked natural enough, and like everything
it really did.
looked
I
pretty
feel like
good.
Jurassic Park is a hard one to top still. And that was
Yeah,
back then these movies were they were being made with enough time behind them. They were an event. Now
yeah.
everything's just pumped out because get one Star Wars show, get the next one. What happened to waiting for Star Wars?
Nah, you
That's what
don't
I
do
say,
that
but
anymore.
no, you got to have the next one.
I
So
know.
anyway, that enough about my rant about that. But how do you think that this movie would have played with Schwarzenegger and DeVito?
Oh man.
I think it would have been pretty fun
Yeah, probably.
because
Is
I
the
think
Undertaker still in it?
that's a good question. I have a feeling. Let's see, who else?
See,
Who could have been cast as the Undertaker? It could have been. It probably would have been someone
Dolph
like
Lundgren.
Dolph Lundgren or
Yeah,
Jesse Ventura.
yeah,
In the sort of minorish role. So,
yeah, totally.
um,
Shelley Duvall though, also like
she was
fairy
in it.
tale theater,
And
Shining. Come on.
she was there's that scene too where she kind of comes out and tries to seduce Christopher Lloyd.
As we all
And I
do
sort of
from time to time.
obviously Shelley Duvall is beautiful, but then you see her in this scene here. Whoa, Shelley
Yeah.
Duvall. Like, come on,
Whoa.
Chris.
It does.
What's
It's
wrong
not
with
gonna
you?
be a bad day anymore.
Like, I'm not in a good mood.
I'm not in a good mood,
Something
Marty.
happened. Yeah,
I wish
don't
you.
you think that Christopher Lloyd kind of plays the Doc Brown character in every movie?
Oh yeah,
He's always that guy, it seems like. I think it's weird because he does
yeah,
sort of pop up in movies that I'm not expecting him to. And the first time, like I said, about a year and a half ago, saw Suburban Commando for the first time,
yeah,
and the cast right away blew me away.
yeah.
Uh, really
I know.
great.
Larry
Um,
Miller too. Good, funny comedian.
yeah, and Bud Bundy's little brother is the little kid. But I
Oh, the
got some
actor's brother, Faustino,
Faustino. It's like
David
the little
Faustino.
Faustino. He's um he's in this movie. The first time that I saw this, I thought, okay, there's going to be a lot of interaction with the kids and Hogan. Not the
Yeah.
case.
No, no, there's like a
He has,
skateboarding scene.
yeah, he has more interaction with that mime
Yeah.
than he does with the kids, and the mime
Like,
stuff is fucking great. I love it.
oh man, the mime. That's that was some pretty 90s like let's just have some comic relief.
I
Leave me
feel like
alone.
this movie actually had some pretty decent comedy.
I love that he punched the mime in the face and he
Yeah,
didn't even realize he punched the mime in the face.
and the mime it
He's like,
keeps
"There you
coming.
go."
He keeps he's reoccurring in the movie.
Yeah.
Oh shit, here comes Hogan, and the mime eventually sort of gets privy to what's going to happen to him. Hogan is gonna help him solve whatever situation. If he's trying to climb a rope, he's
He
gonna throw him
throws
up on
him.
the top of an apartment building. So
That's pretty wild when you think about it. I guess I mean everything about this movie is wild, but if he's just like, I'm walking by, I'm gonna just toss a guy onto a roof. I just realized mimes, that is like one of those things that you were kind of told through movies that would be everywhere, but they're
yeah,
never anywhere. Like I cannot remember ever seeing a mime in real life. I've only
I don't
seen
think
them in
there's,
movies.
especially now, there's not a lot of people miming.
Yeah, but were there ever? I mean, were they only in movies? Like I know there was like
That is a good
Marcel and
question.
like famous mimes like that, but maybe I didn't spend enough time in like
I guess you had to
touristy
go to,
boardwalks. Like
yeah, you had to go to maybe New York City or
yeah,
you know,
I mean
yeah, like
I'd
you
seen
said,
like
a
the
boardwalk
statue,
or
yeah, like statue people like looking like statues and moving, but that's not really miming. Like
that's
wearing
true.
an actual like striped shirt and being
Yeah,
a mime. Like does that exist anywhere? Does
it
that
has
ever
to.
exist?
There's
Or is
got to
it
be a
just in
lot of
movies?
great mime Instagram and YouTube pages probably,
Yeah.
and
I
how
mean,
to
is it a
mime.
thing like quicksand that like you thought would be everywhere when you were a kid and it's never anywhere?
Yeah, that's a good point. Quicksand. You always thought anytime I was out in the woods or near a swamp as a kid, I was always thinking quicksand.
I know,
And
it's everywhere.
it's not really, I mean, does quicksand even really exist?
Probably somewhere.
Okay.
Sure.
I'm just wondering, is it just mud or
It's just
you know,
mostly slow sand.
it's so yeah. It's actually not that hard to get out of probably,
Yeah,
but maybe it is.
I don't know. Like
Um,
that like that scene in that one, the not the new Indiana Jones movie, but the other one where they
yeah, yeah. The
quicksand but not called quicksand.
it's was it a Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, right?
Yeah.
That where he's in the quicksand and she gives him the boa constrictor to get him out.
Oh yeah.
Hmm.
Well, we don't have
I
to
don't
talk
know.
about that.
No, we shouldn't talk about that. I also noticed there was another kind of an interesting appearance from Elizabeth Moss. Do you know who she is? She was in The Handmaid's
Oh
Tale,
yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay,
Mad
yeah, yeah.
Men.
Yep, yep.
She
I
was in
know
that
who you're talking
movie,
about.
The Invisible Man, that came out right. I remember that was the movie, the last movie I saw in the theater before the pandemic, and that movie was really good.
Oh, all
So,
right.
but
Yeah.
she's in there as a little girl. I think that she is the girl, the cat girl. So Hogan likes to, or Shep Ramsey in the movie likes to sort of help this girl with her cat that's caught in the tree, and he grabs the tree. There's a little girl asking,
My
"Help me get
cat.
my cat down."
Well,
Some
doesn't he
hijinks
pull it
there.
down and then like
Then he lets
and
it go.
she says, "That's not my cat." And then
Yeah.
he lets it go
Then he lets
and
it
the
go and the
cat
cat
goes.
flies.
Yeah. But
So
does
if
he catch the cat? I think
I think he does.
yeah. They're like, we can't have this cat like
Yeah,
be
that's
murdered by Shep.
there's too many people who love cats that would just
Yeah.
be
No longer Hulkamaniacs after that.
no.
He goes on to he's in this mission, right, to save the president of something from a general something. I can't remember what the bad guy's name is. He goes in there, he breaks into the spaceship, and then he blows up the ship, but he doesn't save the
Yeah.
hostage. So
Yeah.
that's like a casualty.
And he's been working too hard, and isn't he sort of advised that he's been a little
Yeah.
flustered?
Like you need to take a break. You're not doing your job very good anymore.
You let the president die, Shep.
Yeah.
And he's like,
That wasn't my fault.
he's like,
You need to chill.
he's like,
No, I don't.
and he like breaks his spaceship.
Yeah. And he needs to go on some sort of vacation,
Yeah.
he said. But I was thinking he was going to go on a vacation to Earth, like,
Well, I'll go to Earth and have a good time.
but he hates Earth. He
Yeah.
hates humans.
Earthlings. I hate Earthlings.
He looks exactly like a human. So he just,
Yeah.
what is he? Is he some other alien? And he arrives and he sort of fits in pretty good right away.
Yeah.
He's walking down the street, everyone's looking at him. Isn't he? He's in his sort of He-Man style armor.
Oh yeah, he is, and then
Then
he
he gets the
in a fight with like
some guy who's
bully.
abusing his dog.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and he puts the sorry, I got too excited.
He
He
got
puts
very
the
excited
the
there.
dog the dog was stuck in the truck, and the
Yep.
guy was eating and saying "shut up," and so he takes the guy's clothes and puts him in the truck. And gives
Yeah,
the
that
dog
was
some
that was the
food.
first sign that I really liked Shep Ramsey.
Yeah, we're like, all right,
Thought,
Shep.
he's a pretty good guy.
Yeah, good guy. He locked this guy in his own truck
And he
took his
ends
clothes.
up staying with Christopher Lloyd.
He has in his house, so he's got like a daughter, a son, and Shelley Duvall, and he has a work shed in the back, and he has his really hard day at work, and he was trying to get a promotion, but he couldn't ask for the promotion. He got all scared.
The boss in this movie
Larry
is
Miller.
Yeah, he's reminding me of a very low rent Bill Murray. He's totally doing a Bill Murray ripoff.
I could see that. Larry Miller had a pretty successful career. I think so.
Yeah, well,
That guy. But yeah, I could see that. Yeah,
think of
he's
Scrooged. Think
yeah,
of say
he's doing
Scrooged. He's
for
doing a Bill
sure.
Murray here, I think. But maybe I haven't seen enough of Larry Miller movies to know that maybe Bill Murray is ripping off Larry.
Damn it.
So
Yeah.
yeah, in the Schwarzenegger version of this movie, where Danny DeVito is playing Shep Ramsey and uh, Schwarzenegger is playing the Christopher Lloyd, we
Yeah.
would also have Bill Murray as the boss,
All right. This is good.
Christopher Lloyd's boss.
a
This
good.
is a what if.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Let's do it.
who would Shelley Duvall be in the DeVito Schwarzenegger version?
I wanted to say Jamie Lee Curtis.
Okay, Jamie Lee Curtis.
Yeah.
That would be a pretty star-studded movie right there.
Yeah, we could do it.
They'd have to
Some-
up that budget quite a bit.
And the kid could be actual David Faustino, not David Faustino's
Yes.
kid. Or son.
And
or
you're gonna have a
little
bigger
brother.
role.
I don't
The
think
kids
so.
don't really do much.
Yeah.
Skateboard scene's great, so it's really what we've got here for anyone who hasn't seen Suburban Commando. A trope that I love is the fish out of water.
Yeah.
So Hogan is the fish out of water. Everyone seems to kind of like him quite a bit, though. He makes friends pretty quickly. Even Shelley Duvall's kind of into him.
Ooh la la.
Almost thought that she was going to cheat on
On
Christopher Lloyd. Yeah,
Yeah.
with Hogan for a second.
Ooh, that would be spicy. But
That would be
anyway,
spicy.
so
Be the rated R version.
Shelley Duvall has transformed the work shed into a rentable apartment because they need the money and he didn't get his raise. Shep sees it, shows up, even though it just says, I think it just says apartment for rent. It's just
Shep-
a sign that says apartment for rent with no directions.
Did they establish how Shep had his money? Did he just, when he hit he hits like a soda machine or something? Did he?
Oh yeah,
maybe
did he do that?
He
Oh.
did. Maybe
And
he takes
hits
a
the
bunch of
vending
quarters.
machine? I don't think he
He's
takes
like, I'll pay
anything.
my rent with these quarters.
It was 1990 or 91, so the rent was probably like $300, or less. But
Probably less than that.
yeah.
But anyway, he somehow has money.
Hey,
But
if
whatever,
anyone remembers where Shep Ramsey got his money, leave a comment below.
He's got some great neighbors here too. These sort of gearhead hillbilly type neighbors that have these drag racing cars parked in like full drag racing cars that you can't even turn the wheel, I don't think, on those. They're just
Yeah.
parked in front of there. Christopher Lloyd can never get into his driveway. Shep Ramsey clashes and butts heads with these guys. One of my
Yeah.
favorite scenes is he pisses them off and messes their car up, right?
He doesn't even mess it up. He just picks it up and moves it.
And
So
they're
he moves it
saying,
so
"Look,
Christopher
we're
Lloyd-
gonna get you," and he's like,
What, are you gonna kick my ass and then, beat me up and then do this?
and there's a
No, it's the 90s. We're gonna sue your ass.
It's like, what? Sue my ass?
That
says
was
something
such
to
a-
that effect.
Yeah, that was totally. Yeah,
That's good. I
that
love
was
that.
part. That was a sign. That was very, very much dates the movie exactly. To
It
when
really
was.
does because all the other movies they would just duke it out, and
Yeah.
in this movie these guys.
I
And
feel like
that
this
guy-
this specific, like, we're gonna sue you joke. It was like that.
Yeah.
It was in a lot of movies at the time.
Yeah.
I think.
You're probably right about this. Probably wasn't the first one.
Yeah.
Thinking about it now, I'm actually sort of questioning if I like this one better than No Holds Barred. To be
Oh
honest.
no. Oh no. All right. Yeah. You gotta. I guess you gotta choose. I still have to choose No Holds Barred. I feel like this is the people or the agents or Hulk himself trying to figure out where he exists and lives in the film industry, I would say.
I would say so.
No
I
Holds
think.
Barred is a bit adult. I mean, it's still it.
Oh
but
yeah.
but it does like very much appeal to kids, like it did to me. And this
It
was
did, but
more of a
it's way
kid-friendly,
darker.
silly. Yeah,
It's-
yeah,
Basically, this is a buddy comedy with
yeah,
Christopher Lloyd and Hulk Hogan teaming up. All these years, I had thought it was just this kid like Mr. Nanny.
yeah.
Or
It's
Santa
not
with
quite there
muscles.
yet.
It's
Not
not
there
quite there
yet.
yet. I really appreciate that the kids are not front and center with Hogan there to make this another Mr. Nanny. This is Christopher Lloyd in a pretty solid role.
It's decent. It's the between step between No Holds Barred and Mr. Nanny. It's like that's
Yeah,
the
yeah,
trajectory.
it's the
you know? Yeah.
middle ground.
I mean, it's very just cheeky in its jokes and a lot of that.
Yeah.
We're gonna sue you and him like falling off a skateboard. Like, imagine if he
He-
falled off a skateboard and No Holds Barred.
Yeah.
That
Well,
would be-
Hogan, I think, was on a Caballero deck too, right? Did you
Was
notice
he?
that?
Oh, I didn't.
It was
Oh,
a
man.
Caballero. So
Yes.
that brought back some memories.
Yeah.
And funny, another
And he threw
another
it
one
into
of his
space.
Yeah, he throws it into space. Another great part is the war vet that lives next door. He's sort of PTSD
Oh yeah, yeah,
war vet who's got something strange going on, and of course Shep Ramsey and this war vet who sits out front. Just sort of nowadays he'd be arrested, I think.
yeah.
Sitting in his front yard or something, and Hogan
In his
gets
Jeep.
along. Gets along quite well with this guy.
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't know. They're hitting all the right beats for me in this movie.
I read something interesting about Suburban Commando 2, which
What?
was all right. So this is
There's a part two?
there isn't, but
Okay.
in the early 2000s, I think they were trying to get Dwayne Johnson to be
Mm,
in Suburban Commando 2,
I could see that.
but instead he was the Spider King, or is that what it is? The
Scorpion
Scorpion
King.
King. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was there. They were gonna do it, and he
Why didn't they just
backed
get
out.
Hogan?
They could have.
His sex scandal was
Oh,
going on.
it wasn't going on yet.
Yeah. He was
Speaking of
still
sexy Hogan.
he was still kind of a pure Hulkster back then.
Yeah, this was pre Hulk Hogan reality show.
You know what I noticed was that in this movie, once Hulk Hogan got his street clothes that he wears,
Hmm.
he started looking a lot more like Paul Hogan. They were really I was starting to think that they were actually indeed related. But then we have the Undertaker eventually comes in, right? He's on the tail of Hogan here,
He is.
and they have a pretty good fight too.
I don't know. I might contest that fight. I really wanted more. I felt like it went a little slow. He had a fight, and Hogan triggers the Undertaker's boots, and then he just like flies through all the
Yeah,
floors of the building. I
you were
wanted
wanting like a
more.
WrestleMania style
Maybe
finale
so.
fight. For me, I didn't even realize the Undertaker was in this movie until I watched it the first time and thought, "Wow!" Then you add the Undertaker to this cast.
Yeah,
This is pretty fun.
but still,
Yeah,
at the time, the Undertaker was something else in my mind, and I couldn't. I was like, this is just you can't. The Undertaker wouldn't go down this easily.
yeah.
Whereas,
It's also sort of interesting here. We have a little bit of a slight romance here for Hogan with the woman
the
that
secretary,
the secretary.
yeah.
Um, he kind of has a connection with her. She tells him
Oh,
to take a seat, and then he brings the fucking seat back and literally
that
takes a seat.
that was a Naked Gun level gag.
Yeah. Hogan must really like ripping the doors off cars because they do that. He rips the door off the car, and Christopher Lloyd and him drive around
That's
in a
right.
car. And Christopher Lloyd sort of gets his chance too to sort of be a bit of a hero as
Yeah.
well, which is a pretty good scene where he dons the armor. I like to call it the He-Man armor. I
Oh
think
yeah.
Hogan actually could have been a pretty good He-Man. I mean,
Oh
Dolph
yeah.
Lundgren was He-Man. Just give Hogan a wig and have him be He-Man. That would have been good. He would have had to shave, his
Yeah, that
signature stuff. He wasn't
probably
going to do
wasn't in
that.
the cards for him. No.
Yeah, go
I
ahead.
like the bank scene when they do that.
Banksy's cool.
Christopher Lloyd gets frozen. He has to stand in his car and they're driving. The thing you were saying about Hogan's romance, she leaves the planet with him at the end.
I know. I
That's
had a feeling that
yeah.
when
She's
she
like,
saw Hogan, she was looking at his butt.
oh, she's on the Hogan is sexy
She
team.
is. She
Yeah,
is.
Hogan
And
is sexy.
we didn't really get much interaction between them, so I think that's quite a leap of faith to leave the planet Earth with Hogan.
Are they the same species even? I mean, he looks like a human, but what is
Maybe
really happening?
he has maybe three cocks.
Could be, probably.
You know,
They,
it's
that
very
probably was in
possible.
the original script. That's canon.
He pulls his pants down and she's, what the hell's going on here?
There was a video game which I learned about.
What?
Yeah, I think it was just a computer like PC game, but it is out there. So watch a watch a playthrough of that.
I got to
Uh,
add another thing that I appreciated about this movie. the bad guy. What the fuck was that guy's name?
The general.
The general arrives. I was thinking, okay, this isn't quite enough. I wish this guy would turn into some sort of monster, and he did.
All right, he did.
That
Yeah,
was another.
that was pretty good actually. That was like, all right, he's
It
like a
was.
real threat now. He's not just
He's a
some
real
like
threat.
dopey old guy.
And it needed that because towards that finale of the movie, I kept thinking, all right, something's missing here. We need some. There's aliens. Everyone looks too much like a regular person, a regular human. We need to have a creature, and he transforms into that monster, and I get a little bit of sort of a predator type thing
On
going
cue.
on.
On
Yeah.
cue.
I'm a pretty big fan of Suburban Commando.
All right, what's our rating system?
I would say I think we should use a 5-star rating system.
I'll give Suburban Commando 2.5.
Wow, 2.5. That's like 50%.
Yeah. No, 3. I'll go up to 3.
Okay, 3.
Yeah.
That's good. That means in my eyes, that means that you at least liked it. Yeah, I mean, I guess I can see No Holds Barred being a little bit more edgy and a little
Yeah.
more what you want out of Hulk Hogan. But both of them are really fun.
Yeah.
I like this one because I love the special effects. I love the sort of supernatural alien aspect of it. That's sort of
Yeah.
for me. If you
Yeah.
throw like
It's
if No
fun.
Holds Barred had a supernatural, if he was also be haunted by some spirit or some
Zeus could
creature,
be from out of like Zeus
yeah.
could in the very end of No Holds Barred, Zeus just turns into an alien.
If Zeus would have transformed into an alien in No Holds Barred, I
There we
would be
go.
so down with that. But
There we go.
I
We
think
could
these
combine the
are
two.
for me. I guess I think I'll maybe give No Holds Barred a slightly better rating. I think No Holds Barred deserves, I think, is in the scope of 80s cheesy movies, I'd give No Holds Barred a solid 4-star. I
Yeah.
think this one for me gets 3.5. I think I liked it a little more than you did. I liked
Yeah.
Christopher Lloyd in it. I was a little more
I
surprised.
like Christopher Lloyd.
But you also had seen the movie a long time ago. You probably already made your mind up. For me, I saw it
Yeah.
for the first time and realized this is sort of not what I thought it was. So,
Yeah. Maybe
yeah.
maybe I should watch Mr. Nanny. I've never seen it. It could be something. I don't think it is.
Ooh, Mr.
But I
Nanny.
don't know. I don't think there's any surprises in there.
And,
But
during the
yeah.
Christmas season, we could keep this Hogan thing going and,
Yeah,
cover Santa with muscles.
we could. Let's see if he tears off a car door in that movie too.
I bet he does.
Why is Hulk Hogan so sexy?